All right, man. Welcome everybody to our Builders Call, our weekly Builders Call. We had a great round of boot camps this week. I felt like these have been getting better and better. And what I've really learned over the course of the last 6 weeks doing these weekly boot camps is that the more simple I make it, the more people have confidence that they can go out and start selling that weekend after we're done. And it's been overwhelming, the response I've had from brand new people that just love how I've made it very simple for them and very basic. I chose not, I could tell after 3 weeks in, I started putting more stuff in and putting more stuff in, and it started to get a little bit more advanced. You know, we went from 101, I had a few, 202 courses in there. But I've narrowed it down, and I think I've got it where I really like it. And then I've also got the boot camps down to where the first day is all product only, the second day is only phone script, and the third day is all in-home. So it's very modularized, whereas before I had product and then a little bit of product at the beginning of the second session, and then started the phone script and then doing in-home. Now I've got it really compartmentalized. And the evidence is the people going out there making phone calls and getting out there dialing. So I think it's really humming. The other thing too, and really, the theme of this Builders Call is keeping things simple. Like what Andy said, this is hitchhiking on what Andy's focus was. Let's just focus and narrow our focus. Narrow our focus on the main things that we have to do to keep the business rocking, and so through this process of the boot camp, I figured out that keeping very focused on the most important things agents need to know to be effective, to at least 55% close rate, to be minimally effective, meaning profitable, okay, getting out there. And then going from 55% close rate to 75, that's all the drill down nuances. And all the extra stuff I teach on my videos that are very advanced NLP stuff, advanced relationship stuff, advanced mindset stuff, that's all 300 and 400 level courses. I've got all that, but you can't really learn that until you get the experience of going out there, and then you're starting to understand. You'll start understanding why the nuances are there to get you from 55 to 75%. So I think I've learned over the last 6 weeks to narrow the focus on what will get them minimally successful, again, 55% close rate. And so I'm really liking where we're at right now with it. Okay. The other thing that I've learned is reducing drag. You have to reduce drag. Why make it harder for someone to get out in the field? What can we do to make things easier? So right now, not right now, but before, you could buy these ATM binders on my website or at the NAA store. Or you can buy the New Agent Orientation Pack, which has these binders in it. But these binders are empty. These binders have 10 slip pages, which are not enough. You need at least 5 more to put the ATM in it. Okay, so not only do you just get a binder, you got to go get the slip sheets, a big thick packet of slip sheets, like 50 of them at Home or Office Depot, right? And then you just get your 5 sheets out of there, and then all your supplemental sheets that you want to put in. What supplemental sheets? Well, I don't know, we had to add supplemental sheets. Well, supplemental sheets, so you can sell accident, you don't know what supplemental sheets are? Oh my God, seriously? Well, no one ever taught me what the supplemental sheets are to sell more. Oh gosh. Okay, well, did you print out the quoting sheets? What's a quoting sheet? I thought we wrote on the one that's in the ATM. Oh my gosh, seriously? And you have your ERS forms. Well, what ERS forms? Okay, do you know where I'm going with this? We make it so hard for someone to put this stupid thing together to get out and go out there. And I realize under the theme of reducing drag, getting people out in the field and making things simple for them, it's like, golly, why don't we give them an option instead of buying this skeleton binder that has nothing in it, and let's sell them something, an upgrade that has everything in it. Like everything in it. Everything in it. In other words, when this arrives in the mail, they can take it and go run an appointment from Jump Street. Do you know what I mean? It's like, golly. So let me show you what's in this. I did this on last night's boot camp. Bob Blevins was on. He couldn't believe, like, oh my gosh, seriously? Why didn't I think of that? I know, why didn't I think of that before? So here's a loaded ATM. You're going to get super crisp color charts already printed out. These two slides, the About Me slides, we're going to do them for you. We've got an online form that you fill out that has all the relevant stuff in your life and about you that we're going to assemble this for you, okay? We're going to cut and paste your pictures and your, see, I mean, how many of y'all really know how to do that? How to import pictures into PowerPoint, how to make them look good, how to resize them, possibly go into the Photoshop and touch them up so they look good and then put them in here. We're going to do that for you. We're going to put all the slides in it. All the slides in crisp, clean color. We're going to include this, the fixed index annuity slide, the latest one, 2018. Well, it's as of June 18th, 2019, but it's as of 2018. This is the latest slide for the annuities, and we're going to put it right in here because that's where it needs to go. Then we're going to give you the supplemental slides. The ERS unclaimed billions, already printed out in color so the irrelevant things are highlighted. So when you pull this out and show your client, look, there are over $7.4 billion in this article as of 2017. So that's probably, that number's probably gone up, okay? We're going to give you the children's whole life chart that's got the rates already pre-put in there. Pre-put in there. Is that a word? And you give this while you're filling out the application. Hey, check this out. I know you have children. Let's see, see how inexpensive that is to cover your kids. Oh, wow. Why don't we do that, Alex? Boom, you just had another 4 applications to your appointment because they've got 4 kids. Man, I tell you what, if we had this for dogs and cats, we'd be making a lot of money anyway. The other supplemental slide, 10 leading causes of death by age group in color. And this shows accidental death. Look, Joe, you're under 45. Do you know the #1 cause of death is accidental? Why don't we write up a Mutual of Omaha accidental death benefit for you? You just increased app count again. You need a health license, by the way. Do you see that? This will help you figure out what you can do for them for final expense. It has a Mondo funeral that has all the stuff. The mid-range, conservative, minimal funeral, and cremation, $1,400, $4,500. So the client's trying to decide what they need. You can show them, hey, this is what the average is for in the United States. Then if you got someone who's all hung up on, well, I'm going to get veterans benefits to bury me, and I'm going to get government benefits, we're going to give you the government benefits for burial. Talks about Social Security benefits. One-time payment of $255 is paid in addition to monthly cash benefits described above. So if you got someone giving you crap about Social Security, veterans benefits, and this is a multi-page document that you can pull out. So if someone starts calling you on that crap, you say, I'm sorry, sir, let me see what this official document from the Social Security Administration says, right? Then we have all the quoting papers. We're going to put 20 of these in here. So there's 20 of these quoting sheets, 20 of the green sheets, which aren't green because it didn't make sense to print green because it's hard to read. So we made them white. So I took the time to go in Adobe Illustrator and get rid of the color so we can, because this fax is better, this scans better, and you can actually read it, right? And this is what you need to do when you're filling out the About You slide, when you're going over the About You. There's 20 of these. There's 20 emergency response systems pages. There's 20 of these I am your life insurance policies. Then there's a card holder thing that we can put preloaded your prescription savings card, okay? And then you can put your business cards on this side. Bam. So you take them through a simple 3-day boot camp, 2 hours each. We make the videos available so they can watch it back. We tell them exactly do what at the end. We get them into the materials so they can order a loaded ATM folder. So all they got to do is get some leads, get on the phone, and start booking appointments, man. Like, seriously. Okay? So we're making it simple. We're making it on our end simple. Okay? So the theme of this call is how to make it simple for you. What do you need to focus on? How to narrow your focus? Because right now I get the sense, man, that a lot of people are just all over the place. Well, I gotta sell, but I also gotta recruit, and oh man, I gotta cook dinner for the family, but then I gotta go to church, and I gotta do this, and all my kids, they need my help, and I got all this stuff, and I don't know what to do, and I got my part-time job, or I gotta drive Uber, I gotta make money doing that, and I gotta do this, and my life is so hectic, I don't know what to do. Look, I've been there, man. Let me tell you what I did. I'll just tell you what I did. I decided that I need to focus on the main things in my life, right? So that I can do the things that matter most. And when I narrowed my focus on doing the things that mattered the most in my life, then that's when my life changed. Because then when I focus on doing those things were going to get me what I wanted, which were better relationships with my God, better relationships with my family, and then the financial means to be able to support tithing and offering to my God and supporting my family, right? And then doing God's will for me in my life here. So I narrowed those things down. I think a lot of times when you get yourself off track, it's such a major stress on you when you focus on all kinds of other things. Your focus is scattered, and then you're not doing ultimately what's going to get you moving forward. I figured if I focus on the things that I could do that will move me forward and less of the things that would move me backward, then, when I could just simplify my life, then the things in my life I will get, but most of all, I will get fulfillment that I'm going in the right direction. Like how many of you all like have so many things that you can't figure it out? And those are distractions. How do you narrow the distractions? So I'm going to give you things. If you focus on these things in this business, so I'm going to give the business things to focus on, okay? That if you can figure out how to do this every week, week in, week out, your life will be so much simpler. It'll be so much better for you. And then you can translate to a schedule. So this is all the kind of the pre-work. So let me tell you what I focus on. Like, okay, when I was building my business, when I was in the field. Okay, number one, I had to support my family. So some of y'all, okay, the financial support. So I got to, under the category of support my family financially. Okay, there's also emotional support, which is, that's another thing, okay? But from the business perspective, what did I need to do to make my money now? Well, I had to focus on, number one, I got to get leads. I need to get leads, okay? I need to focus on my lead flow, okay? Then I need to focus on making dials, to book appointments, and then I need to focus on running appointments and making sales, okay? Right? And then after you run your appointments, you have to make sure that you got to manage your business, manage pending business, making sure it gets issued. Because you will waste your time going on appointments and closing deals that fall off the books. I mean, that's just insanity to me. How in the world? Like I know some of you just get all hyped up about closing. It ain't about the close. It's about taking care of them properly and getting the business issued so you get paid on it. Okay, so you got to manage your business. These are 4 things in supporting your family with immediate income on the sales side. Focus on your lead sourcing, focus on making dials, booking appointments and closing them, right? You know, appointments. Then managing pending, getting paid. Wow, that's a lot there. Yeah, because everything has subsets of what you got to do. But like I would say, okay, I got to figure out how to get leads. I got to make my dials. I got to run appointments. I got to make sure my business is issued. That's it on the sales side. That is it. Okay, that is it. It's not worrying about this or worrying about that. It's focus on how do I get more leads? Where can I go to get better leads? If all I'm doing is final expense, where do I need to go to get direct mail life leads? Do I got to travel 3 hours, run a whole boatload of business, and then come home, right? Maybe that's what I need to do. Maybe I need to do what people are doing in the alliance. Top producers are doing in the alliance, okay? So I got to support my family. This is all you have to think about. Getting leads, making dials, setting appointments and going on appointments and closing them, managing, pending, getting paid. Okay? Narrow the focus, supporting your family with immediate income. And then I'm going to put this under the exit strategy. I don't think I've ever called it this before, but this is your exit strategy from having to sell in the field. Okay? Like how many of y'all have to sell to live? You got to sell. You have to sell. If you don't sell, you're not going to make it. Like that pressure of having to sell. Now, some of y'all have other sources of income. God bless you. That's okay. But how many of you have to sell? Like, I don't know about you, but I want to get out of the field. My exit strategy was not when I died from being in the field. Okay? I didn't see myself selling when I was 80 years old. Like, what's your game plan? Well, I haven't thought about it. Well, if you haven't thought about it and you don't got a game plan, brother, sister, then you're planning on being in the field till you're 80. Well, my Social Security is going to kick in. Oh, seriously, have you seen how much Social Security you're eligible for? Like, remember, it's based on your working years when you contribute in Social Security. Oh, I've been 100% commission for a while. Brother, you'd be lucky to get $800 a month. So tell me, you know, when you retire 20 years from now, how far is $800 going to go? It's going to spend like it's $200 today. Okay? So what can you do with $200 today? Well, that's what $800 20 years from now is going to do for you. So how do you like them apples? You're going to be working in Walmart, okay, McDonald's, just so you don't have to eat dog food. Like, am I being too real for you all? Am I dosing you up on reality? So I call this the exit strategy / retirement. Because when you build this business right, what, you mean you're not thinking about retirement? Whoops. So what's your game plan to retire? I'll probably always be building this business because I love building the business. I don't really consider, I don't even know what I'd be doing in retirement. I'm still going to influence people. I think that's for sure. Okay. But what do you have put away? Nothing? Oh my gosh. I do this video on what it takes to retire. And if you're 35, 45, 55. If you're 55 and want to retire in 10 years, how I calculated, if you want to be at a basic subsistence living level, you got to put away $9,000 a month. If you have not done anything to retire in 10 years, to be at some level of dignity. And I think I'm going to do it. Andy wants me and Jenny to do the TWC the 31st of July. I think that's a Wednesday. And I think I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to update my video on what it takes to retire. It's probably one of the most depressing videos if you're not in our business, because it's very depressing. This is something people don't want to think about, is what they have to, they're not thinking about retirement, you know. And so what is your exit strategy from being in the field, from having to sell? Wouldn't it be cool to be out in the field, not having to sell, but selling for fun, selling because your clients need you, need another product that you've already had, because our awesome CRM program, man. Okay, so what do you got to do? What do you got to do to build your business? Well, focus. Here's what your first focus. Agency manager, a 25,000 leg, a 15,000 leg, a 7,500 leg, and a $1 leg. Okay, total volume 50,000. Issue paid. Agency manager, 85%. You can start there, and if you build a proper organization, you should be making $187,000. Okay, that gets you started, and you're going to find people in here that are going to do this without you, and that's what you're looking for. Your retirement is based on building a business such that you have one person in each leg that don't care whether you do it or not, but they're going to freaking do it because they got their needs and goals, and they want to accomplish something, and they tie in tight to the alliance. You find 4 people that will do it, and you're agency manager forever. And you can actually move up. You need 6 legs actually to move up to the upper levels. So I'm going to dot. You're going to have 2 legs out here. You get 6 people, then you can actually go to EVP. But I'm keeping it simple. Let's focus on agency manager. So what you got to do that? Well, you have to find leads, recruiting leads. You need to source people. You need recruiting leads. You need to find people to talk to. And I don't think I can make it any easier for you than our ZipRecruiter program. I don't think for $156 a month, we're going to give you 5 cities, and there are some people that are recruiting the crap out of these people, like Mickey Roden. He's killing it. I can't tell you how he's just pouring people into his business. It's amazing. I don't know how wide he is already. On our ZipRecruiter program, he's killing it. He's getting a hold of people. He's doing what we're recommending. He's emailing them, texting them. Jonah, I don't know if Jonah's on. I mean, how wide is he, Jonah, already? He's only been our ZipRecruiter program for 2 months, I think. His group is jamming. People are getting in class. We've got some licensed people under him. Man. Anyway, sourcing people. Our ZipRecruiter program is a way to source people. We've got free monster resumes, right? So you got to focus on sourcing people, interviewing them, which means getting a hold of them and interviewing them, getting them on my calendar if we need to, right? Building the team, and then creating volume. By creating relationships. Okay, we got to get them selling. So part of this is already done for you, our weekly live boot camps. Okay, we give them all the resources, the ATM stuff that I mentioned, to make it very simple. Creating volume by creating relationships. So recruiting leads, interviewing them, creating volume by creating relationships, and then sell them on the system. the alliance system, hotspot meetings, functions, audio, giving them the basics so they get in. So that's a very simple thing. Sourcing people to talk to, interviewing them, creating a relationship with them, getting them into my boot camps, and creating volume and plugging them into the system. Sell them on the system so they come to things. You got to be good at inviting people. You got to be good at creating relationships with people, sourcing people, and then characterizing our business and deciding if they deserve to be in our business. Okay? You focus on doing those things, man, you're going to be great. By the way, and you're producing sales as an example. So all of a sudden, this becomes important, not only supporting the family, but also providing example to your downline. Because here's what happens, and I've seen it in my 20 years of doing this, is that we've had multi-level groups come in, like wholesale multi-level groups that would just hire people all over the place. And there'd be all kinds of NAA code numbers in their groups, but no one was selling anything. No one was creating volume. And then they were wondering why they were so broke. Is that Jonah? How wide is Mickey right now? With
I've got 7 like solid total people.
7 solid people. How many total that has he brought in? Let me know. He's only been with the ZipRecruiter program, what, 2 months?
Yes.
So y'all, all you other people that are on ZipRecruiter, what the heck's your problem, man? Mickey Roden, he's never built an organization before, like an insurance organization. Never had an insurance license until he got partnered with us. Anyway, providing example. Let's kind of like clear the decks. Clear the decks. And this is what you do week after week, month after month, year after year. And if you're consistent in doing this and not taking your hand off the plow, then you will have a fruitful and profitable business that's returning to you exactly what you're looking for. So here's what I did is I translated this into a schedule. I mapped this into my calendar, and then I did this week after week after week. I was unrelenting. This became what I did every week. I did not make it any harder than this. This is all I had to do. Okay? And then, of course, providing an example of being part of the system myself, right? So when you sell them on the system, what's inherent is that you are part of the system. You are part of the system. So you're doing everything you want them to do. How hard is that? Doing all the things you're supposed to do so you can be an example for all the people that you bring in. Does that make sense? This is as simple as it gets, just doing these things. And then you're going to get to agency manager. Once you learn how to do this, okay, do you want to know how to go to EVP? How you go EVP is you get these 6 legs doing this. These 6 legs doing this. These 6 legs focusing on the simple things right there. And they're putting it in their calendar, and they're doing it week after week after week. They're not doing the, oh, I'm so excited about recruiting. Oh, recruiting sucks. Oh, I'm excited about recruiting. Oh, recruiting sucks. Oh, I'm excited about selling. You know, and here's what happens. It's sort of an opposite sine wave. When recruiting's awesome, your selling goes down. When recruiting's bad, your selling goes up. See what happens? And you create 0 momentum, and your group never grows. That's what happens. It's like an opposite. They cancel each other out, and then the net effect is nothing. You're like flatlined, right? So what are the consequences of you not focusing on doing this every week? Well, you don't have an exit strategy, right? So you're constantly going to be worried about making sales every week. And you are not earning your way out of being broke. Just living above the poverty line. And not even the poverty line, the subsistence line. Is this making sense, man? God, please tell me this is making sense. Because I don't know how the heck, I don't know how y'all do it. Like, I have the perspective of 20 years plus because I was in the Amway business. I have that perspective looking back. Anyway, 7 people. Jason has 36 fast track in his organization he was with. And yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to share something with you that Andy wanted me to share with when I was in Detroit. I have it. Oh, here it is. All right, so I'm 23 wide with issue paid legs as of the month of June. Most managers are about 7 wide. And so maybe if you haven't noticed, I've been focusing on building my business. 1, export the ZipRecruiter leads, copy into Google Docs, add columns for these dates. Be relentless about documenting each engagement because you won't be able to turn ahead with them. Have awesome people like Jonah to support you. By the way, Mickey, just so you know, when we get someone in depth, we're only looking for 2 legs. So he's going to support you in 2 jamming legs. And then you got to handle all the people outside of them. That's the most we're going to do for anybody. Because the same goes for everybody in your upline and everyone in your downline. Because we, as the upline, we need 2 legs to jam a taproot down. And so that's our objective. Does he know that, Jonah? Okay, he does now. Okay, good. Let me explain that. I want to explain that, just what I just said. Okay, so we're helping Mickey. He's got 7 jamming people. Okay. There are some very sharp people in there. All right. Now, I'm hiring Jonah to do stuff to build my team, to build legs. I'm not hiring Jonah to provide welfare. Because if we were going to build Mickey's team so that Mickey goes to agency manager without Mickey doing squat, then that's welfare. Mickey doesn't learn how to be a leader. Mickey doesn't learn how to be an edifiable leader in the alliance. And Mickey doesn't serve to be an agency manager because he doesn't know what the hell to do to lead a team. Like, he's still figuring out the volume creation part. Okay, so he's getting out there and selling. Okay, God bless him, man. But he's recruiting too, so he's doing both. All right. But all we're looking for, all I am looking for Jonah to do is identify 2 legs that we can build a taproot in. Because if one dies, we have another one. This is our safety leg. We're not going to build these people. This is Mickey's job. And even if all these people fail because Mickey doesn't know what he's doing, we don't care because we've got 2 legs we're jamming in. By the way, Mickey benefits from these 2 legs, okay? But this is Mickey's responsibility. It's not like we don't care about these people. We want them to survive. But as far as my personal focus for Jonah is like, we don't need to be welfare driven to give Mickey a team. Mickey has to build his team. Okay, this ain't welfare, gang. This is a business. This is a business. So as kind as we appear to be, we are opportunists looking for 2 sharp people that we can build depth in because we can find ultimately a taproot that survives. You know, we can find 2 leaders, like, you know, maybe this is an AM potentially and this is an AM. Then this taproot will go to China. All this volume will swell up and go up through his upline. And then this leg is locked down. So yes, call us opportunists, but we're business people. Well, Alex, you're just not, you're supposed to help everybody. Yes, but there are some people that we want to help more than others. Okay, I mean, when you look at the strategy of building a business like this, that's a truism. And it's not like we're being mean, right? Because you know whose fault it is for these people dying? It's Mickey's fault. And it's their fault too, because maybe they're not the right people. Okay, maybe Mickey doesn't know how to build depth. So that's something Mickey's going to have to learn, is to find 2 other legs outside of him, actually 4 other legs outside of him, so he can go EVP. But that's going to be Mickey's job to do it. We are not, he's going to watch us do it, and then he's going to duplicate it outside of that. That's all we owe him. And that's all we owe any of you. And if you are not in a Taproot, then God bless you, because you're going to have less help, but you still do it yourself. Like me, I did everything myself. Andy didn't help me build my team. I built my team for the longest time. And then Andy's driving a Taproot through Leventovich's. Thank God, because he's working in my group. So you just bloom where you're planted, right? That's how this works, man. It's a strategy. It's exactly how you're supposed to build a business. So you got that, Jonah? Okay. You got that, everybody out there? You're looking for 2 legs to jam in each leg. Then you can build those legs up regardless of what anyone does. See, moving up is all up to you. You're not depending on your downline to grow. You have it all in your hands to grow in our system, especially now. Okay, so why am I wide? I am wide because wide is mega profitability. You have no clue. No clue, man. You have no clue. I'm 23 wide with issue paid legs. So what does that get you? Well, let's show you. Let's say 20, you're 20 wide. 2, 3, 4, 5. 20 legs of issue paid legs. An issue paid leg is someone that at least gets an issue paid at least 1 application, okay? So out of 20 legs, eventually you're going to find someone who probably do 15,000 issue paid in a month. Okay, let me put it down here. 15,000, you might have maybe a couple that'll do 10. Then you might have a couple that do 8,000. Okay, when you got it loaded like this, these people have more maturity on them. They've been in the system longer, but you're still adding legs in width. And so it starts dropping off pretty quick. You know, maybe 5,000. This group does 2,000 in a month. Notice the majority does not do very much. Majority of your issue paid legs in width won't do very much. Okay? So let's say you've built your team. By the time you do this, you're probably going to be at an 80% contract anyway, because of the volume you've done yourself and the volume that when this team was this big, you know, when it was this big, you're going to do 200,000. Okay, so why do you want to get wide? Well, this leg will probably be at a 70% contract. This will be 65, 65. These guys will be at 60, and then all the rest of them will be at 55 all the way down the road. So here's why you want to get wide, because 15,000, so the total volume is 91,000, which is insane, right? 91,000. So the overrides, this 15,000 person in a month times 10% override equals 1,500. Then these 2 legs at 20,000 times 15%, that equals 3,000 in a month. These 2 legs at 16,000 times 20% is 3,200. And then, gang, you know the rest of these legs? The rest of these little piddly producers that barely know what they're doing, but they manage to do enough volume, right? And it's meaningful volume. that's getting issued paid, that's 40,000. You got a 25% override on that. That's another 10 grand in a month. So in a month, you'll be making $17,700 in a month. Okay. Oh, by the way, renewals. So I actually calculated the renewals. So the renewals on all this business and your renewal overrides, this is purely your renewal overrides. So your renewal income on this is going to be 912, 1170, 1248, and 3900. So that's a total of 7230 in renewals for the next 20 years. Conservative. This is mega conservative. So that will be per year for the next 20 years, just based on this volume you did in that month. You do this the next month, you're going to put another layer of 7 grand in renewals. Okay? So do you see what getting wide will get you? Will get you mega profitable. Now, if you wanted to do this purely on your own at 80% contract, you'd have to do about 30,000 submitted. So that's like 20,000. So if you did 20,000 issue paid times 80%, that's about 16,000 plus 6240 in renewals. Does that make sense? So you got to do 20, like maybe a little over 20,000 of issue paid, commissionable issue paid. So really, that's like 30,000 really. This is equivalent to 30,000 submitted. So if you want to replace yourself, get 20 wide. And then out of 20 wide, you're going to probably find about 3, maybe 4 that you can build depth with that could be the core of your business. And then you're going to have all this mega profit out here. And actually might be one of these that will be the 4, but if you build some tap roots out of 4 legs. So really the purpose of getting width, there's twofold purpose of getting wide. So this is a width talk. The purpose of getting wide is to find depth. So the purpose, and I like having this bigger board. The purpose of width is profit, immediate profit, and number 2, to find depth. Find legs that you can build depth with. That's the purpose of width. I'm 23 wide. You can imagine I'm at a 116. So why do you think I like to get wide? Does that make sense? Am I making sense to anybody? Am I getting way too over your head? I might be getting way too over your head. There's just some things you got to do. And I go back to just keeping it simple and staying focused on doing the mundane things every dadgum week. And it's not going to mean that every week's going to also be an awesome week of finding some awesome people when you're recruiting or doing a 5,000 week in production, right? But if you're doing that every week, you're going to have good weeks, you're going to have bad weeks. You're going to have good weeks recruiting and bad weeks recruiting. But when you find somebody, let's talk about that. Let's talk about perspective. Let's talk about perspective. Okay, so our program is 156 a month. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. And then you invest another 156, 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 Another 156. Let's say you're just really suck at finding people. Okay, so 156 times 12. I'm showing you perspective because I want you to see how ridiculous this is. Okay, so you've invested $1,872. Okay, but through all of this mess of 12 months of doing this, you found one person that does 10,000 a month in issue paid volume. And so let's say you got a 10% override on them. So now you're making $1,000, okay? So you've invested $872 the previous year. How long will it take you to pay yourself or to pay for your expenses this entire year? 1872. How long? I don't have the chat line. I'm not going to figure it out for you. How long? Someone tell me that you're following me and that you know how to use a damn calculator. Oh, 2 months, 2 months. I know I'm getting sarcastic. Huh, interesting, 2 months, that's $2,000. You've already made a profit of less than a couple hundred. So what happens the next month? The next month's another $1,000. What do you call that? That's called profit. You do another month, that's called profit. Another month, that's called profit. That's what's crazy about this thing, is that your return on investment will like snap. Mike and Noel, they went in building their business. I'm not saying you got to do this. I'm not endorsing this. I'm just telling you what they did. They charged their credit cards up to $60,000. I'm not telling you to do this. Like, God, please, please. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm telling you what they did. And they built an organization, not very massive, but within 3 months, they were able to pay, after paying their bills, paying their recruiting expenses, with all the profit they were making, they paid their credit cards off in 3 months. 3 months. They were able to pay their credit cards off from their personal production and the team that they built and the overrides they were making. They did exactly this, but on a bigger level, and they were able to do 3 months. That's how this thing works. My gosh, man, that's how this thing works. Again, I'm not telling you to do that. Now they got this organization that's just like jamming. And I found them. Fired up, man. Fired up. I'm getting too intense here, so I'm gonna like relax a little bit. Oh man, I'm way over. I am way over. So I apologize, man. I probably pissed you all off, and I just want you to understand. I want you to know, because I don't want you to languish. I don't want you to spray your efforts. I don't want you to, golly, man, I just want to shake you like, come on, man, come on, you can do this. If a knucklehead like me can do it, so can you. See, what I did was I mitigated all my quirks and all the stupid stuff, my bad temper, all the bad stuff about me. I mitigated it by doing those focused things every week. And weeks turned into months, months turned into quarters, quarters turned into years, year after year after year. We've made almost $11 million so far in this business. Like, who makes that? It's like crazy. Who does that in 20 years? You know, people in our business do, and you can too. You can do this too if you can just focus on doing those mundane things week after week. Like, look, this is what, July 12th? We're already over halfway through the year. How many of you all even realize that we're half the year done, and we are closer to national conference in January than we were at the last national conference in January? Do y'all know what that, do you know how fast time is marching by? You have no time. You need to get urgent about this program. You need to get urgent. Urgency. Golly. Y'all act like you have all the time in the world when in fact you do not. You do not have all the time in the world. You don't know if you're going to get diagnosed with cancer and it's pancreatic and you're going to die 4 weeks later. How many of y'all know people that has happened to? I do. Can you imagine getting the diagnosis and knowing you only have 4 weeks left? What would you do with that 4 weeks? Well, you can't build a business because you just lost all that time, brother, sister. And then you left your family without insurance because you're in the insurance business, but you decided to get maybe you got a $25,000 policy from CFG because you were on my boot camp and that's all you wanted to buy. So at least you have a nice funeral. But then what are they going to do with the income, with their income loss? I don't know. The biggest fallacy is to think you have time. You do not have time. You do not have time. Every week that you go by without recruiting somebody, without talking to someone about the business, is another 3 weeks in the field having to sell to pay your bills. Another week goes by, you add another 3 weeks. Another week goes by, you add another 3 weeks. Another week goes by, add another 3 weeks. Another year goes by, you add another 3 years. Do you have time? Here's a problem with that. That 3-year sentence that you added on to your job slavery of being an insurance agent, right, assumes that those 3 years you can still work. Because if you become disabled in some way, you can't get out of the house, you can't sell, man, you just screwed your family, brother, sister. I don't know if I'm making any sense, man. I'm trying to be urgent with you. I just want you to start doing something. God, please, man, don't. In December, Ginny didn't think she had cancer. She was like, oh, well, I should do my mammogram. I hadn't done a mammogram in 5 years. Well, let's go do a mammogram. We got health insurance, so I might as well do my mammogram. Does her mammogram, and then she gets a call from the secretary saying, we got your results back. Doesn't look very good. It looks like cancer. From the secretary. You need to come in. I don't think she's supposed to say that, but that's what they told my wife on the phone in December. Life was pretty good until the day we got the call from the doctor telling her that she has breast cancer, and the mass looks pretty, the shadow on the mammogram looks pretty strong. It's probably cancer. Right? And so Ginny's thinking, oh my God, I blew off my mammogram for 5 years, and now look at the result of blowing it off for 5 years. I am not going to be with my family, and it's all my fault. And I'm thinking, I lost my wife. She's going to die. How long does she have? What am I going to do? See, my plans, mentally, I was thinking about, okay, I'm building my business. I'm doing this, the new ARC system, the new promotion guidelines, new bonuses. We can do all this stuff, and I've got all these plans, and all of a sudden, the brakes are put on because my wife has cancer, breast cancer. So we've had to deal with that the last 6 months. See, there's a reason why I'm a number 3 recruiter in the Alliance right now with 65 personal direct recruits. Because you got Andy Riddle at 117, Kyle Cater at 80, I've got 65. Leventovich is, I think, it's 47. Okay. Okay, listen to what I just said. Kyle Cater, who is too deep for me, is on the top recruiter leaderboard. Michael Noel Leventovich, who's direct to me, is on the leaderboard. And I've got 60. I'm number 2 in the country. Number 3 in the country. There's a reason for that. Because I don't have time. Jeannie is getting over it. And she's healed. I'm speaking it. She's healed. She has her she has a reconstruction, which is the harder recovery in November 22nd. I don't even know if that's Thanksgiving. We got that to look forward to. But I am freaking going to build my business as if I don't have tomorrow. And if I'm doing that, why the heck can't you do that? Like, there is no tomorrow. Like, why don't you have that urgency, that fire in your gut to do something before something happens? You got to build your business before you need to. That's really the theme of this whole thing. Build your business before you need to by focusing on the simple things to do week after week after week, because you have no time. Does that make sense? God, please, man, hear my message. If y'all have ears to hear, let them hear. All right? All right, man. Let's rock. For those of you coming to family reunion, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait to hug you. For those of you that are not, I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you because you need to be there. You need to get some inspiration in your life from people other than the broke people you hang out with, right? You need to get some inspiration from people that are moving on in their lives. And I don't care what it costs to get there, because you need that. You need to know that you can do this thing. You need to believe that you can do this thing. The only way to do it is getting around the people that are doing it, and other people that look like you, smell like you, that are doing it. And when you see them doing it, it's like, man, God is no respecter of persons. If they can do it, I can do it too. That's why you need to come. I believe so much in how this function can change your life and what it'll do for you with your belief. Okay? So I can't wait to see you there. Now, if you can do me a favor, those of you, cut Jenny a little slack. She's going to be swamped by a lot of people. So give her a hug, but I don't know how we're going to handle that because she's doesn't have all her energy up. So I don't exactly know how we're going to handle that. But anyway, but she would appreciate, obviously she appreciates your well wishes and hugs and stuff, but it can get a little crazy. So like, give her a little space. All right, man. God bless. Thanks, everybody. Take care.